Okay, there we go. The lightest gavel hit in history. Welcome. Today is April 28th, 2025, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Indianapolis Marion County Public Library. Can I have a call of the roll?
Yes, Mr. Biederman.
Present.
Dr. Murtada.
Present.
Dr. Payne.
Present.
Dr. Riolo.
Present.
And Dr. White.
Present.
We do have
Chair.
a quorum.
Thank you very much. The chair recognizes that quorum. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 2025 meeting of the Indianapolis Public Library Board of Trustees. Tonight, we're hosted at the Franklin Road branch. My name is Ray Biederman, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees. Thank you all for joining us. As we gather for this board meeting, I want to recognize the strength and resilience of this institution. The Indianapolis Public Library is a forward-looking organization thanks to the collective efforts of everyone in this room and across the system. Our staff is the heartbeat of the library. They are passionate professionals who believe deeply in the value of public service. Every day, they bring our mission, vision, and values to life, ensuring that we remain a vital, relevant, and trusted resource for the people of Indianapolis. Even today, our staff on the front lines responded to an incident quickly to ensure the continued safety of our patrons. Thank you for your vigilance and your continued excellent service. As board members, we're stewards of the resources entrusted to us, whether it's revitalizing branches, expanding our collections, or adapting our services to meet the needs of a growing and changing city. We continue to evolve, just as we have for over 150 years. We're also fortunate to have strong support from our valued partners, advocates, and generous donors. Their belief in the power of public libraries increases our impact and extends our reach. We're always working to amplify our story. We promote literacy in all its forms, offer free and equitable access to information, and provide resources that support educating and upskilling our local workforce. These are core needs for our community that not only help define our service, but also resonate deeply with our community and our civic leaders. As we look to the future, this board remains attentive to developments at the local, state, and national level. The board and our leadership team are in constant communication with stakeholders to ensure we continually prepare for any changes in policy that may affect our operations. We are grateful to our passionate and supportive community, especially those that are asking for ways to do more for IndyPL. We invite you to connect with local branches, to engage with us by using our services, to support us by donating to our foundation who funds our programs, and by championing us by talking to your friends, neighbors, and elected officials about the value of the Indianapolis Public Library. As always, the Indianapolis Public Library remains committed to advancing our strategic goals and continuing our legacy of service in an ever-changing landscape. Thank you all for being a part of this important work. Together, we will ensure that the Indianapolis Public Library not only endures, but thrives. In just 5 days, on May 3rd, we will celebrate a shining example of the thriving public library, the grand reopening of the Nora branch.
Woohoo!
And like everything we do, the Nora branch celebration is free and open to the public. Everyone is invited and encouraged to come. It's also a great time to get or renew your library card and to give to the Library Foundation. Please join us on Saturday, May 3rd, starting at 10 a.m. for a fun day for the whole family at the Nora branch. The Nora branch is located at 8625 Guilford Road. On that positive note, let's begin our meeting. I'd like to invite the Franklin Road branch manager, Ms. Jill Wetnight, to the microphone. Thank you very much.
Good evening, President Biederman,
Good evening.
CEO Hill, members of the library board, and guests. Welcome to the Franklin Road Library. We're happy to have you with us this evening. I'm sure if you haven't visited for a while, you've noticed we have a lot of growth in our community since the branch opened in 2000. The Wanamaker Library opened in leased quarters in 1969 at 8822 Southeastern Avenue, in Franklin Township, and it was one of the library's smallest branches at 2,560 square feet. It was the fifth of the libraries to open in the county following the expansion of service to county residents in 1966. To meet the growing needs of the area, the 17,000 square foot branch was built in 1999. On February 6, 2000, the new Franklin Road branch opened to the public, replacing the Wanamaker branch. We celebrated 25 years in February, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. I'd like to tell you a little bit about who we are, who we serve, how we serve, and our programming and outreach. Here at this location, we have 4 full-time public service librarians, including myself, 2 adult librarians, 2 children's librarians, a page supervisor, a half-time adult librarian, and a part-time hourly PSA. We have a circulation supervisor, a full-time library assistant 3, 2 full-time library assistant 2s, 2 part-time library assistant 2s, 2 hourly FTEs. We have 5 hourly pages, and currently we have 12 volunteers. That fluctuates. They help us with collection support and program support. So, next slide. Who we serve. We have, through ages 0 to 18, we have 31%. Our biggest area is our 19 to 64 with 56%. And then 65 and over is about 13%. And currently, our racial distribution, Caucasian is 80%, African American 8%, Hispanic 6%, and Asian 6%. And this isn't on the slide, but in the board report, when I was working on our anniversary celebration, I did a comparison from 2000 to 2025. And in 2000, we were 96.3% Caucasian, 0.7 African American, Hispanic was 1.3%, and Asian was 1.7%. So we've had a lot of growth in this area. And the total base population is currently 65,524, doubled from a little over 32,000 in 2000. And another of the boom right now, currently when I wrote this, we had 24,609 housing units. I know that's higher than it was when I did, and in 2000 it was just a little over 12,000. So this area is really growing a lot. So, as I mentioned in my written report, we celebrated 25 years at this location on February 2nd, 2025. We hosted a family story time, a local history presentation by Digital Indie. The Franklin Central High School Orchestra Ensemble had some performances here, which was fun. We had face painting and a branch scavenger hunt, and CEO Gregory Hill read a proclamation from Mayor Hogsett on our accomplishment. Next slide. In 2024, we had 1,338 new cards registered, over 90,000 patron visits. Circulation was 369,979, and we hosted 173 programs with over 8,000 program attendance. And in our summer reading program in 2024, we had 1,825, and in 2023, we had 1,694, so we were up quite a bit from that. And a fun statistics from one of our children's librarian about the prizes. We gave out a total of 1,748 books as prizes, and when readers reached 10 hours and 20 hours, they received a prize automatically. And at 15 hours, they could choose whether they wanted a book or a prize. And she said, based on the number of 10-hour and 20-hour prizes we gave out, she's estimated that 22% of readers who reached 15 hours chose a book over the other options. So, next slide. Our weekly children's programming is very popular. We host baby, toddler, and preschool every week. Each has their own day. The toddler seems to be the most popular. We had over 1,300 in attendance in 2024. So if you want a fun, active morning, show up Wednesday at 10:30 because they have a lot of fun here. And you may be familiar with book club in a bag kits for adults. They now have them, and they have 10 copies of those. They now have them for children, baby book club kits. And there's 20 board books. And our children's librarian, Sarah Masson Randall, has been using those during baby programs. And I haven't observed, there's a slide there in the bottom where they're reading one of those. I haven't observed, but I'm told it's just so cute to see all of the babies and their adults reading the same book as Sarah was reading it aloud. So she said she's used them a lot, and they're very popular. The children's librarians began hosting Dungeons and Dragon programs for families in the fall of 2024, and that's something that's very popular too. We have a lot of returning families and usually at least one new family each month. And it's a basic Dungeons and Dragons where they're learning how to play. So we offer teen package programs, and last year we expanded the teen section, which is drawing more teens into the branch. On the adult side, our adult discussion group is still going strong. It was here when the branch opened, and in 2024, we had 155 total over the 12 months attend. So we get a lot of requests for adult computer programs, so patrons are very happy now that the tech team is offering monthly or at least quarterly programs here at our branch, and so that's something that's very popular here too. We also, the adult package programs are very popular, the crafts, the cooking, and the health and wellness. We get a lot of people interested in those. And of course, our seed library, I think in every branch, the seed library is very popular, and we have a lot of people come in and ask about that. And something else we do here is scavenger hunts. Our patrons love scavenger hunts, and we find that it brings more opportunities for interaction between patrons and staff. The children's librarians have created several. There was one about leaves. They did a Talk Like a Pirate Day one. And then our most current one was a branch scavenger hunt, which we highlighted on our anniversary celebration. It's different things in the children's area that are there's a zoomed in, and you have to walk around and figure out what that is. So kind of fun. And then if you finish it, we have a little stickers that they can get a prize, and we also have hints if you can't find it. Next slide. Two of our longtime partners are the Franklin Township Chamber of Commerce and the Franklin Township Civic League. We are a member of the chamber, and librarian Deborah Jones is the chamber secretary, and she attends the monthly chamber meetings. The mayor's neighborhood advocate, Delia Novak, hosts weekly office hours at the branch, and that's convenient for area residents too. In January, we became a dementia-friendly business through SEQOA. We partnered this last summer with JAG, which is Jobs Through America's Graduates, for the first time for summer reading program to host summer interns. I received a call last May from one of the teachers at Franklin Central who happens to be the leader of JAG, and she had several students that were interested in library, possible going into library when they graduated. So she asked if we could use some volunteers, and so it went from there. And they're paid by JAG, and they worked 20 hours a week and volunteered here, and they were both high school students, and it was their first job for both of them. So it was nice for them to work with us, and they not only got to help us with summer reading, but they also got to shadow or see other areas of the library, see what they might be interested in. And we're planning to have that happen again this summer. So. Our children's librarian, April Petrie, visits Wanamaker Early Childhood Center monthly to read to the students, and that daycare, it's a preschool center. It is part of the Franklin Township Schools Corporation that has been open. I think this is their third or fourth year for it. And then beginning in January this year, our children's librarian, Sarah Masson Randall, began visiting monthly to the Applied Behavior Center for Autism and sharing stories with those students. And she also attends Southeast Way Park's Environmental Days several times a year, where they host them for the local elementary schools, and she goes out and reads stories and usually does some sort of a craft or a STEM activity with them too, and the classes go around from station to station. And then, of course, we table at various school events throughout the year, Franklin Central and the Franklin Township Schools and the Franklin Township Education Foundation. And every year, Wanamaker Old Settlers Day, which is a very big event, we table at that too. Next slide. Any questions?
Any questions?
How exciting. The scavenger hunt is pretty great. I saw it over in the other room.
Yeah.
I was locating some of them. Congratulations. Nice work. About half.
Thank you.
They have hints available.
On my way out.
Any other questions?
This is an important one. Talk like a pirate. Okay, how is that going to happen?
Well, there's a Talk Like a Pirate Day, and so she took that and had different pictures, and they had to find the pictures, and then the last one said, what's a pirate's favorite subject? And it was art. So.
There you go.
John's back there saying, oh, gosh. Just a quick one. You were naming a number of areas of significant growth, so much growth. What are some of the things that are not so much problems, but challenges? How do you address some of the challenges with so much growth as well?
I think letting people know we're here, that's a big thing, and all the things that we do, and keeping up with where the growth is. How can we reach those people? And it just seems like, we try to reach as many people as we can, but then there's always someone who, I didn't know you were here. So that's one thing we're trying to do. And we're going to hopefully get more contact with some of the newer HOAs. And we have a lot of over 55 communities here in the township, and reach out to them and try to see if we can let them put information in their areas, or monthly send them our calendars. We do that with some groups, but we need to find some of the newer ones too.
Makes great sense. And the whole notion of the outreach and the community engagement and the communication that's necessary. I see Mary Barr, who's working with our communications, was shaking her head, like, yes.
Yeah.
So this is great, and the communication is key. It was just talked about in the latest issue of Public Libraries, how important outreach and communication is. Thank you so very much, and to your colleagues who are going out to make a difference.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Hi. So you mentioned the library is now dementia-friendly business. Could you expand a little bit on that, and like highlights? How do you get there?
It's through SACOA, and we were offered the opportunity. The staff, there's an online course. It was about an hour that the class, every staff member would take it, and then you had to pass a quiz. And then once we did that, then they gave us a certification for that, and just talked about different what things could you do to make someone who has been diagnosed with dementia more comfortable, like the doors, the walls, the flooring, and then, how to deal with someone who may be diagnosed with dementia, as far as speaking with them and understanding how to work with them. And so, thank you.
Any other comments? All right. Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
I'm just wondering how you doing. I'm looking at you and your mobility. How are you coming along?
Oh, I'm doing well. Doing well.
Okay, good.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you again.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
you.
Great report.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comment, Ms. Gilbert?
No, sir, we do not. Thank you.
Okay. There we go. I don't have to read that. So now we're gonna move on to approval of minutes. I was not at the last meeting, but I heard that it lasted 90 minutes, and so I'm trying to get to 89 minutes today. So we're gonna do it. Okay, so there was a regular meeting on March 24th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting held on March 24th, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second? There's a second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman.
Approve.
Dr. Matata.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank you.
All right, the motion's carried. Very good. Let's move on to the Finance Committee. Dr. White, you're the chair of the Finance Committee.
Being of sound mind, I'm calling Lolita and Mira to the table so they can review for us the financial report.
Good evening. We are a quarter into the budget year, so Mary and I will review the financials up to March 31st, 2025. Any revenue that is 25% or more would be favorable to the library. Any expenditure 25% or less is favorable. So as you can tell, which everything is consistent as it has been in the years. And again, we don't typically get property taxes or revenue until April and May. So right now we have 3%, but in a few months we'll be at budget at that time. The one thing that I see that stood out is that this time last year, the percentage for our investments was 1% more, and right now we're down at 4.3 and 4.43 for Hoosier funds. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there it went. Maybe there's a delay. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, go ahead. All right, thank you. Let me see if I can do it just like him. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry, that don't count against race time. On this next slide, you have a slide for the graphs. The first one is the month to date, and the second one is the year to date. The month to date, you'll see this is very consistent as it has been with previous year and the budget, and the same as the year to date. Again, the only thing that would have stood out as far as the revenue between this year and last year is the interest that we received, in which that was, a whole percent higher from last year. So that makes a difference in the revenue that we received. And now, Mary will go over the expenditures.
The expenditures for the month are favorable. Personal services and benefits, our largest category, month to date 2.8 million and year to date 9.4 million. The supplies 236,000 and year to date 328. Other services and charges 18.3 million is our budget with actual month to date 1.4 million and year to date 3.5 million. And capital outlay, which is largely the books, 3.3 million is the budget, with 200,000 being the month to date and 576,000 the year to date. All categories are under the budget for the year. Then the graph is on the next page, which shows on the left is the month to date, on the right, the line graph is the year to date. And it's notable that on personal services and benefits, it looks much smaller for 2025 than last year. That's largely because we had 3 payrolls in March of last year. So you will see the year-to-date has it more even than compared to last year on the grand totals, with the budget being in yellow, the blue year-to-date expenditures, and the orange was last year's. So this shows it working perfectly well, where we're at or under budget on all the categories, and slightly over last year, but that was as planned in the budget. Any questions?
On those two? Yep.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, good job on the below 25%. Do we expect for the next 3 quarters to remain under 25% for each quarter?
So it won't remain under 25%, but we expect for it to remain under budget, yes.
Per quarter. So
Yes.
25% per quarter, yes.
Yes.
You said expenditures 25% or less was favorable. Did you say revenue 25% or more was favorable? Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
As the price of books continues to increase and the capital outlay is mostly books, how do we anticipate looking out for that additional cost?
We have other options like the bonds. We can pay for books from the bonds. So we'll start moving, there's some strategic planning with the revenue, so if we needed to, we can start moving things from that are capital out of the operation into the bonds if needed. So.
I know that we're moving more and more toward books that are online, and of course, that's going to be another cost as we look at that increase as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about how we're going to do that, how we anticipate that.
Any other Okay, please continue.
Thank you. Now I'd like to call Gwen Simmons up. She's going to review the first quarter of the XBE spend.
Good evening. Okay, I am going to go over the first quarter, our XBE spend, which is our diverse spend for the first quarter of 2025. Okay, so my first slide is just a refresher on what our goals actually are. Just a reminder that we did adopt in 2020 the City of Indianapolis's utilization goals of 27% annually of diverse spend with our competitive spend. That breakdown is for minority-owned businesses, 15%, women-owned is 8%, disability-owned is 1%, and veteran-owned is 3%. And a few key points about those goals is that this is an annual goal of 27%, and we only report the city-certified vendors to the city monthly. And it applies to only competitive spend, and our PDA and collection vendors are exempt from XBE reporting. So next slide. So I have two pieces of data to share with you. The first is our overall spend. So these numbers, the top chart or spreadsheet portion shows all of our XBE spend that includes all of our certifications. So that would be our city certified vendors, our state certified vendors, and our mid-state certified vendors. So for the first quarter, we're at 25.7% overall with our XBE spend. The bottom portion is our city certified vendors. So this is what we report to the city on a monthly basis. And right now, we're at 22.3%. So we're falling a little bit short of that 27% right now, but I'm sure that will, as our capital projects, because they do weigh heavily on our XBE spend, so once those pick up, we'll be back on chart for our 27%. And I also want to share with you just some efforts that, did I turn this on? Is it on? Okay. That we can use to, I'm going to kind of focus on to increase our percentage for the year. We do have some vendors that we do quite a bit of business with that are not city certified. So I'm working with them to become city certified, to have them put in those applications to become city certified. That way we can count them with our report to the city. And the top three is Marshall Security, which is a big contract for us. Diversity Press and Bright Ideas. Marshall Security, they've already done their application, it's pending, so I'm assuming pretty soon they will be certified and we can start reporting that spend to the city. Also, some outreach efforts I want to focus on for the year is just to increase our phone calls to our vendors that are receiving our RFPs to determine if they received them, just to make sure they did receive the information, and to ask if they're planning on bidding, and if they're not planning on bidding, just to find out why, to try to find out if there are any barriers in place that we can assist with to help them put in more bids, because we're finding that with our RFPs, the minority vendors don't bid as often. So I would like to dig a little deeper to find out what those barriers might be and help increase that participation rate. That's all I have to share. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
You are doing such a great job. My question is, with all the insanity that's going on at the federal and the state level, do you anticipate this impacting our goals in any way?
I do not. No, I do not. Because there are a lot of challenges right now, but even with the challenges, the need for the work still exists. And the work that we're doing, the way that we're doing our work we're doing everything the same. So nothing's changing. The vendors are still out there. They didn't disappear because of all the stuff that's going on. So we have to still keep them in mind and keep them forefront of our mind to increase our spend.
I don't understand how this works, but this should be an easy question for somebody like you. If a vendor is certified, if their certification crosses more than one category, Are they counted in more than one category, or do they choose whether it's women,
No.
minority?
No, we only
Veteran.
count for one, and it's our choice. We can decide which one we want to, which category we want to place them in. Yeah.
Thanks.
Just want to commend you for also making sure about the outreach aspect of it, outreach and asking why. You know, they might not be actually applying for or responding to the RFP. It's good outreach. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the last slide is just to provide an update, which is we're still in audit and we're going to start our budget season. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Is there, oh, okay, let's do that too. Eating away at the time. All right. Is there a motion to accept the report of the treasurer for March 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Thank you. And that's April 2025, just to be clear. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. Can we have a call of the roll?
Mr. Biederman.
Approve.
Dr. Rattata.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. The motion's carried. All right, let's move on to the Diversity, Policy, and Human Resources Committee. Dr. Palacio.
Good evening. I would like to call Tisha to the front. Thank you.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Maybe. All right, I'm here to present Resolution 16-2025. It's a review and update of library policies. This resolution was approved in the committee. So the first change that we would like to do is to officially change all the department names and job titles that we have already approved to include them in the policy manual. So it is more cohesive. Now everybody knows what our names are. And then the other changes are changes in accounting and finance policy that have already been approved by the board. It's just adding them in the language. The other change is language in the communication section, policies between 132 and 133, just because we had changed some of the ways that we communicate throughout the year. And rename policy 285 to pay leave in disability insurance, since we have included the new in-house employee pay leave. Eliminating policy 285 with the short-term disability, since we have already replaced it with the in-house employee leave. And then change policy 271 for the performance manager's guideline to match the calendar year, since we are not doing pay for performance anymore. So the timeline will have to change and match our calendar year. And then remove 271.1 pay for performance. We haven't done it in almost 6 years, so it's just time to remove it.
All right.
Right?
Thank you very much for that. Resolution 16-2025 regarding the review and update of library policies as identified and described in the attachment here too. Great name, Council. Great name for that policy. Received a positive recommendation from the DPHR committee. So the chair would request a second to such a recommendation.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman.
Approve?
Dr. Matata.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Excellent. Motion carried. Thank you very much for your attention to all the policies, and thanks for, that concludes the report, I guess. All right, excellent. There we go. So concluded. All right. Let's move on to the Facilities Committee. Dr. Riolo.
Yes, the Facilities Committee has 3 resolutions today. Adam, please come up and go ahead and just wear this time out. Just feel free. We like the facilities.
The first resolution is Resolution 17-2025, approval to award a purchase order for the IT and Outreach Vehicles project. So the current IT vehicle was at its end of useful life and too small for the current IT responsibilities. And the Outreach vehicle is an expansion of our current fleet and is adding additional capacity for outreach. So these were the same vehicle that we currently use, and IT is switching to the same vehicle that Outreach uses. Notice for this invitation to quote was sent to 10 vendors, 1 XBE. They were sent to the Indiana Ford dealerships, and the invitation to quote was posted on our website. So using the Public Works, actually that's incorrect. It isn't a Public Works, it's just supplies. So that would be Indiana Code 5. My apologies about that. Anyways, I think I copied that from another slide. We received 1 quote, unfortunately. And 1 quote was from Heritage Ford of Indiana, Inc. They were the same company that we bought the 2 previous Outreach vehicles from 3 years ago. Total cost was $61,400 for 2 vehicles. So that is the total cost for 2 vehicles. And it is below the project estimate of $80,000. This will be funded via Bond Fund 486. Vendor is based out of Corydon, Indiana, and they are a city certified XBE. I believe they are a minority vendor. And we hope to have vehicle delivery by September 1st.
Okay. All right. Resolution 17-2025 regarding the approval to award a purchase order for the IT and Outreach Vehicles project received a positive recommendation from the Facilities Committee. So the chair would request a second to such a recommendation.
Second.
All right. It's been seconded. Any discussion? No. All right. Let's have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman.
Approve.
Dr. Matada.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank you.
The motion carried. Thank you very much. All right. Next.
Next resolution is 18-2025, approval to award, a construction services contract for the Central Library Escalator Handrail Replacement Project. So currently, several of the escalators have handrails that are at the end of their useful life, and they need to be replaced. This project will ensure that the handrails that are most at need or most at risk of failure are replaced. This project does not address the escalators that are currently down. Those have already been issued purchase orders for speedy repairs. This is replacing those handrails that are at risk of failure but are still operating. So this was invitation to bid. Public notice was on March 14th and March 21st. We sent the notice directly to 5 vendors and 2 business development organizations, and the invitation to bid was posted on our website. This is an invitation to bid process. This is correct. It is Indiana Code 36. We received 1 bid, and that was Schindler Elevator Corporation. Their submitted cost of $74,900 is below the estimated $150,000 and will be funded via Bond Fund 485. The vendor is based out of Indianapolis. They are not a city certified XBE and will self-perform 100% of the work, and the XBE waiver as part of our review process was approved by our purchasing manager. We hope to have preliminary completion of these escalator handrails by the end of June.
Great. All right. Resolution 18-2025 regarding the approval to award a construction services contract for the Central Library Escalator Handrail Replacement Project received a positive recommendation from the Facilities Committee. So the chair would request a second to such recommendation.
Second.
It's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Gilbert, can we have a call of the roll?
Mr. Biederman.
Approved.
Dr. Murtada.
Approved, I'm sorry.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
I
Thank
was
you.
thinking to get those handrails safe, that's all.
Excellent. Well, the motion is carried. Very good. All right, moving on to Resolution 19. Excellent.
That is approval of a naming opportunity for the Nora Branch Children's Play Area, and I will hand it over to Roberta for further elaboration.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you all. It's really great to be at my home branch library also, so that is a treat for me. And as you all know who were on the, many of you who were here for that meeting where we talked about this, we do have a donor named Diane Cramsey, and she is a longtime Library Foundation donor, and she pledged a gift to name the children's play area at the Nora Library. And this gift will support children's programs primarily, and we will be installing some signage pending board approval called the Cramsey's Children's Corner, working with the Nora staff and Adam's department to make sure the signage is appropriate for the space. And, Dee, that's her nickname, she just has a long history with the library, going back to as a child, going to the Nora Library, raised her children at the Nora Library, and now that she's had a very successful career, is just very committed to continuing to support the library. So that is our request for a naming opportunity approval, and thank you for approving that in committee.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is a great thing, and this is one of the joys of being a trustee is getting to do these sorts of things. So I for one, am really happy about this, and thank you for all your hard work in making this happen.
And we hope to do more of this.
Excellent. All right, so Resolution 19-2025 regarding the approval of a naming opportunity for the Nora Branch Children's Play Area received a positive recommendation from the Facilities Committee, so the chair would request a second to such recommendation. Excellent, we got a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman.
Approved.
Dr. Murtada.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approved.
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
Thank
All
you.
right, the motion carried. Thank you.
I'm on next. The foundation
Yeah.
report's next, so I'll just stay put. If you would like me to give it, Dr. Riolo, I'm happy to.
Yes.
Okay. Well, really just so pleased. I just want to start out by saying that Dr. Riolo has been an awesome addition to our board. We make it optional for library trustees to be on a committee because we know how many other meetings you have to go to, but Dr. Riolo said, yes, I would love to do that too, and she had her first governance committee meeting yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, I can't remember. Well, 2 days ago was Sunday, so perhaps it was last week. I don't remember, but it was very recently. And so we just really thank her for that. And a couple things that we have on our agenda to talk about, and I need these guys, so give me a minute. We do have tickets on sale for Circulate Night at the Library. And this, just to give a little bit more information for people who might have questions about Circulate, this is our annual fundraiser at the Library Foundation. And it's an exclusive adults-only evening where guests can enjoy live music, food and beverage stations, and a wide variety of activities that are reminiscent of the sorts of library programs we have for kids. So every year we have the live animal show, and we have a band, and we have some art programs, and then this year we're also going to have an inflatable planetarium in the Simon Reading Room. So it is going to be super fun. So just as a friendly reminder, there's a link here where you can buy tickets, and hopefully come and bring a friend. We would love to see you at Circulate. We also wanted to let you know that we are moving forward. You had requested when I was before you at the Facilities Committee that you would like to get together and learn more about the Library Foundation, how we raise funds, and how you all can get more involved. So we are in the process of getting that scheduled. And we also are in the process of finalizing our public-facing strategic plan. But just to give you a little bit of a snapshot of some of the things that we're looking at in our plan, which has already been approved, we're just getting like the final public version ready. Our vision is a stronger public library for a stronger Indianapolis. Our mission is to elevate the Indianapolis Public Library by activating the community's generosity. And our goals are to grow and engage the foundation's current and future donor base. We do call for a 14% increase in fundraising revenue in the strategic plan already. The goal that's so close to my heart and everybody at the foundation is to sustain a mutually supportive, collaborative, and strategically aligned relationship with the library. We're here to support the library, and we're really excited to meet with Gregory and other senior leaders soon to talk about the strategic plan and where are the parts that we can maybe plug in and help with fundraising. And then we also just want to be a strong foundation that prioritizes growth opportunities for our staff and board, that we care for the culture and the climate of the Library Foundation and the growth of the foundation. So those are the things that we're really focused on, but very much here to serve you all. And we also provide a listing of some of the top donors corporate and foundation donors who gave this past month. So if you see them, you can say thank you. We had about 237 donors who made gifts last month. Most of our gifts come from individuals. And then we also provided in April $180,000 to the library, and some of the programs are the summer reading program, the summer Center for Black Literature and Culture annual Juneteenth Book Fest celebration, and some initiatives of the Latin Culture Committee outreach. So we're excited about supporting new things and just doing as much as we possibly can for the library.
Questions? No? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so before we move into the CEO report, I think Drs. Murtada and Riolo wanted to speak a little bit about recent experience.
Go ahead, Lisa.
We are both appointed to this board from IPS, and so IPS had requested a report from us last Thursday. And we were giving a whopping 10 minutes to say how excited we about all the plans and programs that we have going on here. I think it was very well received. We pulled out things from the 2024 annual report that really were specific to IPS and students, and they seemed very pleased with particularly the shared system and some of the programming.
And we wanted to give a special thank you to Mary and to Mackenzie for making sure we had copies. We passed them out. We talked through even the color coding that's in the program guide that talks about one color for the little ones, the color for the other, and for the adults. And it's just a way of saying to you both, thank you for making sure that we were well prepared to do it. And so Lisa and I had a good time. We cut it short because there was a lot going on with the IPS board. But we see our responsibility in reporting back and letting you know just what we were doing and how it went. Good, Lisa?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the report of the CEO.
Thank you. Good evening, Board President, members of the board, staff, members of the public. I have before you Resolution 2025, the Finance Personnel Travel Resolution, which is before you monthly. It's in its typical format. I ask for your approval of this resolution.
All right, is there a motion to approve Resolution 20-2025 regarding finances, personnel, and travel?
So moved.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's have a call of the roll.
Mr. Biederman.
Approve?
Dr. Murtada.
Approved.
Dr. Palacio.
Approve?
Dr. Payne.
Approved.
Dr. Riolo.
Approved.
And Dr. White.
Approved.
All right, the motion is carried. Mr. Hill, please continue.
All right. And before you, I have a truncated version of the report that you have in your packet. The presentation will highlight just a small sampling of programs and activities that occurred through March through the library system. The agenda will be as follows. Typical day at NDPL, the Pike Grand Opening, staff recognition, program highlights, both youth and adult, program development area programming, upcoming events, and the statistical report for the first quarter. The first item, starting on your left at the top and working our way across, is physical circulation on any given day at NDPL. We're up about 3.5% from a typical day in the previous month, 13,820. The top circulating branches were Glendale at 51,266, Michigan Road 33,263, and Franklin Road at 30,915. And I usually just keep Central in a separate category. They had 36,027. Visitors, any typical day, we had 6,845. That was up about 3.1% from the previous month on a typical day. Central visitors topped in at 36,938. The branches, Glendale was 16,805, Michigan Road 11,857, and Fort Harrison 11,694. Our study rooms, we had 160, which the other four that I'm going to cover, there were no significant percentage changes from the previous month. New card holders, 93. Programs offered, 28. In attendance, 559. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is the Pike grand opening, and I'm going to show a quick video, which is about, a minute and 30 seconds.
What does the Pike branch mean for our city and our community?
We are so excited to have this open.
It's just lovely.
It's one of my favorite libraries.
They're going to bring so many new events, and it's just going to be fun.
It is where every story is found.
Our libraries provide our communities with so much more than books.
Having this library in our immediate neighborhood means such a wonderful thing for young children.
It's spacious, it's a lot of light, it's well laid out, and a lot of good things to see and hear and to do.
I love coming down on the summer to do all those summer programs, so I'm really excited to be able to bring my son really close by. We're only like a few blocks away now.
From the youngest pre-readers to those learning a new language, there's something for everyone here at the Indianapolis Public Library.
I'm just excited. I'm excited about all the community connections we're going to make, all the programming we're going to do. Very excited, and I'm looking forward to everything that's coming for Pike.
Okay, so congratulations again on the Pike grand opening. Just a couple statistics here. Opening day, we had 1,072 checkouts. The first week, March 29th through April the 5th, we had 2,552 checkouts. And then visitors from opening day through April 26th, we had 5,828. So congratulations to Branch Manager Michael Jenkins and the rest of his staff, and for everyone who participated and helped make this a successful grand opening. Thank you. And then next, I want to do a quick staff recognition. Last week, we had our Star Wars reception that we have once a quarter. We were able to recognize staff who were nominated by the staff from January, February, and March. And I will start off by going through the names of our award winners. For patron services, and these winners right here that I'm going to read is for the month of March. Patron services is Hallie Schumacher from Warren. Peer support, April Petrie from Franklin Road. Page excellence, Deborah Norman from Lawrence. And other duties assigned is Casey Borley from Lawrence. The next group is Team Excellence, the West Perry branch, Volunteers and Partnerships, Erica Evans from Fort Bend, and Committee's Choice, Priscilla Bell, the interim manager at Michigan Road. And then next, I'd like to congratulate these four gentlemen here from the Central Library. We've talked about them before, about the chess program that they have there. So they were nominated for community involvement. That would be Jordan Hunt, Charlie Kane, Mike Perkins, and Jared Reed. And we give them a round of applause. And also at the systems managers meeting, I just want to give recognition to Cordia Watkins, the system circulation manager, and Sarah Batt, the shared systems manager. They received CEO coins at the systems managers meeting for the work that they do for the library. Cordia for the library card campaign, and then of course Sarah Batt for the shared systems. Just recently, all 41 managed IPS schools have joined the shared system, so congratulations to both of them as well. Real quickly, programs, adult and youth. I'll go through a couple of them. Chair aerobics. Chair aerobics was presented through the Age and Fitness, which is a hugely popular program at Southport. It's offered every Thursday morning for the next 41 weeks in 2025. In the month of March, they had a record high of 55 attendees for one of their classes in March. That is amazing. It provides connection for patrons and attendees socialize with new friends while exercising their minds and their bodies. At Garfield Park in March, the Children's Librarian continued story time at IPS School 39. They had 36 preschoolers who enjoyed a theme session on folk tales and nursery rhymes. For the Southeast Community Services National Reading Month event, the staff also distributed grab-and-go literacy and STEM kits and library resources to 37 community members in the Fountain Square area. Michigan Road Rufus, a fox puppet, is a fixture of weekly story time at Michigan Road. They say his silly antics have made him popular with the children. The Teen Advisory Group, which I am proud to say, planned its third annual egg hunt. The 7 members all showed up and they gathered for their weekly meeting, and they stuffed over 200 eggs with prizes, candy, and clues. Some eggs included clues that will send their finders into the library stacks to look for books. Finding the correct book would result in a chance to win a prize. At the Central Library, the nonprofit team offered 10 sessions in March of the popular Spring Nonprofit Series. Let's see, let me go back to the last slide, I'm sorry. 282 people attended the sessions and the one-on-one meetings, and I have just a comment here from one of the patrons that they shared about the series. This was incredibly helpful for my work with my organization and made me feel more confident in asking for funding. I feel more equipped to take this information to my staff to help implement individual giving campaigns. So again, congratulations to the Central staff and the nonprofit series. That's pretty popular and they do an amazing job, so thank you. Program development area, we had the 46th annual McFadden Lecture. Was one of the most attended opportunities for adults. It was hosted on March the 20th at the Madam Walker Legacy Center. This year's lecture featured history author Timothy Egan, the writer and researcher of the best-selling A Fever in the Heartland, the Ku Klux Klan Plot to Take Over America and the Woman Who Stopped Them. Highly anticipated event. It reached a capacity a day after the seats became available. We had 824 guests for the event. We had a wonderful reception provided by the foundation. It was a great presentation, and then he did a book signing. In 7 days, the online recording received 1,188 views. So a great event. Thank you for PDA and Foundation for putting on a wonderful event. The Seed Library. March marked the opening of the 2025 Seed Library, welcoming experienced and novice gardeners alike to take home free seeds and start their spring collection. This is at all 25 library locations plus our bookmobiles. They have seeds available while supplies last. The collection includes a variety of vegetables, herbs, and flowers that can be grown. An estimated 55,800 seeds packets have been distributed in March. Self-defense. Library locations hosted self-defense classes for teens to help visitors learn basic steps for protecting themselves. In March, we had 48 teens who benefited from classes at 8 separate sessions and locations. The digital inclusion. On March, usage stats for North Star Digital Literacy increased from February. We had 65 unique users completing a total of 80 hours of independent learning, and they took 135 total assessments. For the third consecutive month, Michigan Road had the highest number of unique users outside of the Central Library, with Eagle coming in second. Microsoft Excel was the most popular topic, with Microsoft Word following in second. Delivery of programs across the system. The library hosted 303 adult and 607 youth programs in March. We welcomed 17,677 visitors to our locations. And if you look at the graphic on there going from left to right, starting with adults, that was the program type. The audience is geared toward adults and seniors. There was 33 participation. The youth, which includes infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and teens, we had 14,044. The 275 programs for children in preschool ages 3 to 5 had the most programs and also served the most visitors at 5,632. Upcoming events, we are right around the corner from the summer reading program. So summer reading program registration starts Thursday, May the 1st. Saturday, May the 3rd, Board President mentioned this in his opening remarks. The Nora Library opening celebration starts at 10. And then we do have the Teddy Bear concert with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra from 11 to 11:45 on Saturday, May the 31st. And that concludes this portion of my presentation. If there are no questions, I will take those. If not, I will go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Marianne McKenzie, our Strategic Planning and Assessment Officer, for our first quarter statistical report. Yes, ma'am.
I might have missed it because you mentioned so many amazing things going on. And I did hear you say School 39, but was it for our celebration of the shared system?
No, ma'am, that was not for the celebration. That just happened to be that branch.
Well, then I can talk about it.
Yes.
That was amazing. Another school in IPS celebrating the shared system. So that was on Wednesday, April the 9th. And Mary was there, Greg was there. It was just a great celebration. So once again, the library prevails. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for attending as well. And I can say I did my first ever story time ever.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
That was good.
It was a great time. The kids were well behaved. They really enjoyed it. And we had a lot of good media, a lot of good information. So thank you, Dr. Payne, for attending.
Yes.
Excellent. Any other questions before we, comments?
A quick comment. Years ago, we used to always make comment about the teens and what was happening with the teens. And so it's really great to hear again and again how the teen advisory groups are really growing up and at different locations, like Michigan Road. And you said, it's taken the lead in a lot of ways. And so every time that we come together and we hear more about it, and the fact that we're fostering literacy across the continuum, from the little ones and the largest program, fostering literacy at the preschool age, and then moving right on up. That's one of the things that was exciting, too, when we talked at the Indianapolis Public Schools, that we were able to show that Indianapolis Public Library is supporting literacy across that continuum, and it's great. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And thank you to the staff at all the branches advancing the teen work and, of course, foundational work with literacy.
All right. right, please.
All right. How are we doing on your 89 minutes of time?
We are doing so good as long as you take 5 minutes.
Okay. I was going to say I have a 5-minute version, a 10-minute version, but I like the 10-minute version better, so you're going to have to
10 is
suffer.
great. Yeah, 10 is great.
All right, so I'm going to talk with you about our general quarterly statistical report. Per usual, there is a longer version included in your packet, and I'm just going to give you some highlights to kind of focus you in on areas where you might want to pay attention to have some context for the general decisions that you're making for the library. To start off, I'm going to talk about circulation and collection usage. This is, of course, a core statistic for the library. We love it when people borrow our materials. However, we are seeing a little bit of a decrease in physical circulation. I've told you this the entire last year, 1%, 2% decrease. Nora and Pike being closed really were impacting us. They opened this quarter for about a couple of weeks each. So that helped, but we're really expecting to see this statistic grow and rebound into the next quarter. Since I've been telling you about this little small decline, it's only been 1 or 2%. I did, in the longer packet, provide you some context slides. So you can see 3 breakouts. The first one's looking at specifically Nora, Pike, and Glendale and how their closures and reopens impacted circulation with a 3-year lens. I did the same for Fort Bend because we hadn't really taken a look at their circulation and their surrounding branches since they reopened. And then the third one's just about a third of the branches, the ones that stacked nicely so you could see what was going on, just to kind of give you that intuitive feel for how circulation works across the different branches. Those graphs will become relevant, I'm sure, next month when I come back and tell you where we're at now that everything is open. I just got a text a few minutes ago, 2 East at Central Library reopened as well. So that is also going to have a big impact on circulation. So very excited. Don't worry about the dip for now. We're going to come back. And the reason I'm so confident about that is because when you look at our other platforms, everything's growing. So I came to you last quarter and I mentioned that the State Library had asked us to adjust the way that we measure databases and electronic content. Our e-resource librarian, Darlene, was kind enough to go back and recategorize everything for the past year on a quarter-by-quarter basis so that we could really compare where we're at under this new measurement. And what we're seeing is that we are growing in databases. And the way we categorize databases now, this is genuinely a database article, an access to consumer resources, access to LinkedIn Learning. So none of these things are going to be e-books, e-audiobooks, stuff like that. This is general database usage. And it also includes our popular Encyclopedia of Indianapolis and Digital Indy. And both of them, I didn't break them out here, saw some great growth this quarter. So we're very excited to not only have access that we provide, but also to drive the actual databases they're accessing. We see a smaller, I can't say like 30% growth, but 3% growth for ebooks, e-audiobooks, e-videos, e-magazines. As Dr. Murtada referenced earlier, we know that electronic materials can be a budget stretch for us. They are more expensive, so I probably will never be able to come to you and say we've seen 30% growth in this area without it also being, and we're concerned about the budget impact. But we're glad to see that this increase is there. So we have a slight theory that some of our physical circulation is just shifting to digital resources because we're doing such a great job promoting them and they are incredibly popular. So we'll keep an eye on this. And I think that this will become relevant next quarter. We are making some shifts in the very near future to who has access to some of our popular platforms such as Hoopla and Libby. So we'll be monitoring this closely to see if that has an impact on our usage. Our goal is going to be to ensure that members of Marion County have the appropriate amount of access without impacting the general access for everyone who uses our library, because of course we have Plaque Card users and others. So this is going to be one to watch, so definitely make a mental snapshot of this one and compare it to the future version. The other thing that we know is that cardholders, they're growing. We've got more total cardholders. Our active cardholders in comparison to the end of 2024 is higher. It's right about the same place as where we were at the end of 2023. I am going to note that these great numbers, we usually see great numbers in quarter one and quarter two. We might see a little bit of a dip. We have our annual, I don't know what else to call it other than a purge. People who haven't used their library card in 3 years. We go through and we deactivate their accounts to keep us in alignment with the best practices from the state library. So next month I might come back and you'll probably see that total card holders has gone down quite a bit. But per usual, I'll just highlight active borrowers is what we love. Those are people who've definitely used their card in the past year, and that number is growing, and it's being driven by the new card holders. You'll see here that shared school systems, they're one of our largest drivers right now during the school year for new card holds being registered. So that's very exciting, very strong numbers in this category. The last few slides, I'm going to run through them very quickly. These are basically context slides and giving you some insights into some of the decisions that you've made and the impact we're seeing in the data. So first of all, I don't know if any of you guys knew that a water main broke in the city and it impacted a bunch of branches. We did see a little bit of a blip of this. We have a statistic that's operational services monitors called % open hours, which is looking at unexpected closures. And the tail end of this quarter and the beginning of next quarter, we could see that emerging a little bit because we had a few branches that didn't have access to water, and so they were unexpectedly closed for a partial day. But that was explainable, so we didn't see anything that unexpected in this area, but I did want to highlight it's a little bit larger than normal, and it's primarily for that reason. But even with unexpected closures, visits are rising, and this is honestly a little bit surprising. We knew that we were switching to a new system. So Q1 of last year, I came and I said, hey, our data is going to be a little bit messy because we're making that transition to this new counting. This is the last quarter where we're really going to see that impact, and we knew that the old system overcounted. So I would have expected if we were at the same rate, our data would have been a little bit lower. We saw growth this quarter, so we're definitely seeing an increase in branch visits across the board. I'm really excited next quarter to be able to do a one-to-one comparison and really see where that's coming from. So that's great news, something to look forward to. And we also see this in our service point assistance. So service point assistance is if you come and you talk to a library staff person and need some help, they mark you in a system to say, hey, I answered a question for someone. Is this imperfect data? Because branches get really busy and sometimes you forget to check that box. But we kind of use it as what we'd call like a lower bound. We know we did at least this much. And the graph here that you see, this is a pretty good breakdown, I think a pretty representative breakdown of how people are asking for help in the branches. And because it is Q1, you will notice that tax forms are a significant percentage there. That's always a big thing in Q1. It kind of goes away over the rest of the year. Computer support continues to be a big area of need, as well as in general, when you see service assistance, a lot of that is print, copy, fax assistance, and general usage of the library. I put study rooms in here. I know Gregory mentioned study rooms earlier, so I hate to reference something he's also covering with you, but look at East 38th Street. They have their 3 study pods, they're about the 5th one down from the top. They were about half of our 14% increase this quarter. Those study pods are just well loved. And I have this theory, I put Nora and Pike in here even though they were only open for a couple of weeks. I think we're gonna see their columns really grow into the next quarter. So very excited to see that usage grow. And if I'm going to talk about study rooms, I figured I should also mention community room usage. So study rooms are those walk in the branch, same day I can get a room. Community room usage, you might be paying a rental fee and you're probably booking a month or more in advance. And those also saw a significant increase in this quarter. We've made some adjustments to how that process works. So we've been monitoring it closely to make sure that we weren't disrupting access to those rooms. And we're not, we're seeing growth, so that's great. And what I love about this particular graph here is you can really see those community associations, those nonprofits, those are the ones who aren't paying us for usage of the room. They are really embracing using this as a space. And as they draw people into the branch, we see them in our door count. We see them see our posters and come to our programs. So this is a great statistic to see growth in because that's going to drive more growth in other areas. That's all the highlights I have. But I'm happy to answer questions about any of these slides or anything else in the packet.
I have about 20 minutes worth of questions.
I also do appointments.
Just for everybody to know, Ray and I have competed because the meeting that I chaired, it was so much shorter, and then we just went. So he's saying, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to knock it out. Just wanted to commend you for making sure that we have, the kind of data that can really help us to see and make a case for whatever is necessary. Thank you so much. I'm always interested in the community impact and how we're really getting the word out that these rooms are available for residents as well. How do we get that word out? Are we, Mary, how do we do this?
I think usually the best way that those are discovered at the local level, at the community level, are going to be conversations with library staff. It's getting people in the door and they say, oh, you have this great space. I have this group that meets. I wonder if we can use it. Those interactions have a high turnover. Because of the way these rooms are booked, they're referred to a central booking line so that the process is the same and everyone's status can be checked and so on. So definitely just getting people in the door is a great way to grow that area. Another thing that we do is, of course, we have everything outlined on the website, and it's very clear if it's going to cost you, if it's not going to cost you, if a study room might be a better option for you. There's pictures of most of the rooms so that you can make a decision on if it will work for your group. So Mary's team has done a great job in making that easily findable. If you just search, local room to use for the library, that this is something that's going to pop up as an option for you.
The staff's help with doing that is just invaluable. It really is. I was over at the Harvard, no, not the Harvard, over the Brightwood, over at the Brightwood branch, and every room was used, every room, and the staff there were helping others, individuals, and the community room was used, and everybody was. It's such a wonderful opportunity for the community's engagement.
And we're definitely excited to see the new branches. We've increased study rooms in almost every new branch we've built. Central's redesign is going to have an expansion of study rooms. So this is a metric that I do expect to see is going to grow over the next few years, and hopefully it grows to 100% utilization. I'm not measuring it in that way yet, but it is something that we've considered. We do that with the computer rooms, how many hours were used that were available, and I do think that would be interesting to see for the study rooms.
I know Parsons had shared that Garfield, I think Garfield is on the agenda. I don't know how much longer before Garfield has a larger community room, I believe. I don't know, but I have to look back at the plan, the extended plan that you gave us, Adam.
Garfield's a few years out, I think. I think West Indies next.
West Indies next.
Irvington are next.
Yeah. And Irvington, I believe, has a study room, but West Indy does not. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any other? Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
This is wonderful data. I'm interested in that data point of utilization measured as capacity-wise versus capacity.
Yeah.
See where we're at in that metric.
We're going to get into the weeds here. I think what I'd have to do is do an average week, because what happens if you booked a room and no one needed it after you, you're allowed to stay. But we don't track that in the system. So I can see a projection of we did sort of like with Desk Tracker, we did at least this much, but seeing the total utilization, I would have to get staff to monitor that a bit more closely. We don't want to overburden them, but that's something that we could definitely look at doing for like a peak week. Say, hey, pay attention to this so we can get an idea of in general what utilization is.
I'm saying anything that would be no more task on or burden on the staff.
Right.
But it could be even starting just with this is how many hours we have open, and just start going with that. And if we're consistent, I think we'll have a good metric to start with. But I don't want to take more time from the chair. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? No? All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Excellent. All right. We have no unfinished business, no new business, future agenda items. This short amount of time is made available for discussion of items not on the agenda, which are of interest to the library board members, and the opportunity is given to suggest items be included on future library board meeting agendas. Do any board members have something to suggest for the May 2025 board meeting? Hearing nothing, very good. All right. Next scheduled meeting is May 19th, 2025. It's a different date because of the holiday in May at the Nora branch. All right, at 8625 Guilford Avenue at 6:30 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.